All right. So with that said, welcome to another Out of the Fast Lane podcast. I am your host, Brady Hauser. On tonight's episode, we have Kyle Lockrow. He is a ARCA Menard Series NASCAR driver, and we're gonna get to chat with him about all things in and out of the fast lane. Last night, if you missed it, Tommy Marood, CRSA sprint car driver, came on the show, and he chatted with us and just got done with a Tulsa shootout, and he's getting ready to go for his first full time year in a sprint car. And so, if you missed that, go check that out. Definitely a interview you don't want to miss. And well, we got Kyle on the show. He actually just we were just chatting about some iRacing in a little bit, possibly. I'm not very good at iRacing. I will not admit. I will admit. I'll be 100% honest with you right now. But
No,
first of
hey,
all,
no, hey, no judgment, man. No, honestly, what we're doing is it's just three or four of us because a friend, a really good friend of mine, somebody that I actually, myself and Tanya Banning, who's my manager and significant other, by the way, she actually, we manage our friend Chris Arthur. He's going to Daytona for the first time. So I'm just trying to get him ready. He comes out of stunt driving and stuff like that. So just trying to get him acclimated, what the test will be like. And then go in there and just kind of honestly just fart around with some friends, have some fun, help him learn drafting. And if you wreck, honestly, you're teaching him the arc brake method. So you're doing a great job.
for sure. First of all, I appreciate you coming on the show here tonight.
Anytime. Thank you.
Uh, Stunt driving. So what did he do for stunt driving?
He is very good friends with the infamous Stanton Barrett, and
Hmm.
he has done a lot of different projects with stunt driving, precision driving. He's done some Skip Barber, I believe. So, and he wants to transition into stock cars, probably start on the road courses because that's kind of his bread and butter right now. But he does want to venture into some oval racing. So, through our management group, we're helping him find sponsorship and doing public relations, coaching, all that kind of stuff. We also work with Brad Smith, the now
Hmm.
all-time ARCA start leader currently that's active, and then obviously all of my stuff. So we are constantly busy people.
Oh, for sure. And this Daytona test is it?
Yeah.
When I because I have a buddy of mine that's actually taking part in it too. Garrett Zacharias. He's a
Mhm.
regular up here in New York. He's like 18. He's gonna get there and
Good
test
for
it.
him.
When is this test?
It will be. It's supposed to be now. I'm saying supposed to be because it is Daytona and it's Florida and it rains every 10 minutes.
Mm,
So it's
yep.
supposed to be Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5. And for those of you listeners that don't know about it, it's the preseason practice. I don't want to get a call or an email from Mr. Drager or Mr. Wells from ARCA telling me my credentials are pulled for the year. It is pre-race practice for the season. And what it is, it's an opportunity for teams to shake down their stuff, but it's also an opportunity for drivers like Garrett or myself and Chris to go down, get some experience at Daytona to get evaluated by ARCA series officials to get approved to run the super speedways for later in the year.
Oh, okay. So there's probably gonna be quite a few rookies taking part, is what you're saying.
There's always a different agendas. I
Mhm.
mean, just for example, Frankie Muniz, who they just announced today is
Yep.
going to Rhett Jones for the 30
Full
car.
time.
He
Yep.
actually tested when I was with Andy Hillenberg's fast track team last year, just as a driver and a spotter. But Frankie actually was testing with uh, Andy's team, and now he's going to run the whole season. I don't know if I'm assuming he'll probably be in the car this weekend because he's going to need the laps. So it it's definitely an opportunity for guys like Garrett to get seat time, get laps, kind of understand plate racing, get your confidence up because you got to learn to hold it wide open. I remember my first time in 2014. I was driving for Mullins Racing in there. It was the old Burt Reynolds look-alike to the chicken car from oh my god, I'm drawing a blank right now. Um,
Oh, let me see. I know I know Willie and Brayton Laster pretty well, and
yep.
they're a couple of their drivers. Let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah, it's the oh wow. Every NASCAR true NASCAR fan is screaming at me right now how much of an idiot I am. With Jim Neighbors and Ned Beatty.
Is it like red, almost like a red looking car?
No, it was the chicken pit car, but they did it in a primer, and
That's not it.
that was an earlier car. It's on my Facebook actually, but I forget the name of the movie. But we had it looking just like the car.
Is it?
Um, I mean, it was 2014, but it helped me get acclimated to super speedway racing and learn it and understand it a little bit. And then I did the test again 2 years later for a team that does not need to be named, that no longer exists, and ended up being kind of a criminal operation. We'll just leave it at that. But it's a good way for guys to get seat time and understand, like I said, understand restrictor plate racing. And different teams have different agendas. Some teams are going to go down there just to do single car runs to get guys approved and to just get experience. Other teams are going to be doing a ton of drafting in the small packs to see where they stack up. So it's there's a lot of different agendas, but it's a very beneficial practice.
For sure. Are you so is it just Chris taking part, or are you planning to take part in that test too?
We have opted to stay off the super speedways this year. We actually, as of just a couple of days ago, we have completely changed course. We were going to do some ARCA this year. We're not against doing any ARCA, but we have changed course, and I will get to that in just a minute. But we will not be doing it just because the costs are so, to the average fan that may not know, the cost to go plate racing is probably double what it is sometimes on an intermediate or a short track or whatever, because of the motor and the body and just all the different elements that go along with it. But it's a chess game, and unfortunately it's a very expensive chess game that you can total a car real quick. So
Hmm.
we didn't want our season to be over after week 1 and then be on the hook and not be able to race the rest of the year. So we have opted to take a break, get our sponsorship and program a little more intact moving forward, work on approvals for me, and then maybe we'll attack some super speedways later on.
Hmm. So for the people that do not know, how did Kyle Lockrow first get introduced into racing?
I started in NASCAR at 7 years old. I was a very diehard fan. I grew up watching the Hanna-Barbera flavored cartoons, Scooby-Doo, Flintstones, Jetsons, Wally Gator, and a lot of your old school fans, and hopefully some of the new school will know or have seen. There were Cartoon Network sponsored race cars in the late 1990s.
Robert
Diamond
Presley.
You got it. That's the car, buddy. That 97 flip in the 500 made Scooby Doo. The look on the hood was perfect marketing. Whoever came up with that was a genius. You thought he just saw a ghost, and he probably did. And Presley was airborne off it too. But anyway, if I'm rambling, just say shut up too.
You're fine.
Anyway,
It's a podcast. It's a podcast here.
perfect. All right. But I got into it because of that. And then with Melling Racing and Diamond Ridge, and then also the Montag family, who actually came out to my first ARCA race when I made my debut at Kansas, because they're out in Iowa. Good family friends of mine for many years, went to school with their oldest son. And they got me interested in NASCAR 98. So everybody, there we go. That's the first start. God, it seems like it was yesterday, but there's a story to that. There's a couple stories to that weekend that I'll be happy to share with fans and your listeners. But that was the most surreal experience I could have asked for. I did not think I was getting to drive that weekend, but NASCAR 98 is one of the things that how I caught the bug.
So we'll go right into it then, because you just mentioned it. Can't you? This is your first race. You raced at Kansas last year. How
Mhm.
did you? You said you had a couple stories. How'd you get it in on this and get in the race in a NASCAR race? I'm sure it was pretty awesome.
I'll give you a brief overview just for your listeners so they kind of know a bit about my background. I had a bad injury in high school where I broke my collarbone in wrestling, and the doctor pretty much said, "We can fix you up, but I wouldn't recommend any big contact sports just because I can't really fix you again." So I said, "You know what? I wanted to try this racing. I was trying to do go-karts 4 years before that. Just finances weren't there. I'm not expecting mom and dad, and I still haven't to this day. I will not expect my parents to take out 9 mortgages on their home so I can attempt a cup career. I wanted to do it the old school way, and I wanted to earn it. I'm not one of these silver spoon little turds, and I'm not going to do that. And I want to do it the right way, and I want to show the old school, and I want to show these drivers you can still do it. It's hard, but you can do it the right way." And from there, I just started in Legends cars, late models, 4 cylinders. I moved up testing ARCA cars, ran the race. I got into spotting, learned the business side of the sport. Just knew I had to find a way to do it. Then made the ARCA debut in October of 2021.
Hmm. And you mentioned some spotting. You've done obviously you've done a lot of work to get into the ARCA series and stuff. And So coming up into the Arkham Knight series, how tough was it? Was it as tough from starting at like racing Legends cars to make your way up to the Arca series? How tough was it making that jump up to that level of racing?
It was an adjustment. It always is when you go to a new series that you're unfamiliar with. But I'll tell you the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I tested an ARCA car in 2012 straight out of Legends cars at Hickory. That was back when the cars had 800 horsepower. I mean, they're probably about 725, 750 now, but they were pushing 900 horsepower at the time. And I learned the car control and the throttle control I learned in Legends helped me in that test because I actually shook a car down for a friend who was also from Maryland that was racing full time. And it taught me discipline and made me realize that you have to adjust, and it showed me I could adjust. And then I went into road racing. At one point I was going to give up driving, and Eric McClure, who is a, God rest his soul, miss him
Mm.
every day, he was a good friend of mine. He was a very avid supporter. He helped me any way he could, and he was always trying to encourage me to find the next opportunity. Eric gave me an opportunity to get into the Champ Car Endurance Series, which is an amateur version of IMSA for road racing. And it helped save my career and save my driving. And for the next 6 years, 5 or 6 years, I've raced in Champ Car. I'm still doing it periodically. And it taught me consistency, being smooth, how to race in traffic, how to adjust to a car with no practice, no qualifying, because 9 times out of 10, your first laps are under green. I've so many times come off a pit road in a car on a driver change, and I've had to figure it out in turn one and not know what I got. And you just have to believe in yourself. So when I got the opportunity to drive that 66 car, that fifth car for Andy Hillenberg, it was kind of like going into a champ car race. We knew that it was a last minute effort because I got the call Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We had to be in Kansas at 6 a.m. on Saturday. So it was, and we drove. There was no time to get flights. The costs were astronomical. So Tanya, myself, and my father, we drove 20 straight hours out to Kansas, and for me to make my debut.
Oh, for sure. I do got to mention here this podcast, of course, sponsored by Swagger Factory Apparel and Parts Companies LLC. Thank Big shout out to all them folks and all that they do. And I gotta give a shout out to the sweatshirt I'm wearing tonight. I made a promise to him back when I interviewed him about 2 3 weeks ago. Not too. It was
Around Christmas
no,
time when they
it
ran
was
out.
yeah, it was around Christmas time. So it's been a little bit, but we had Charlie Medford on the show, and if you missed that podcast, I highly suggest you go back and watch it because that kid, I mean, his race car impersonations and making his Kenny Wallace impersonations and all that,
Oh God.
talking about his infamous gateway wreck. It was one of the funniest podcasts I've ever done. But I have to plug that I am wearing his sweatshirt after I said I would buy one of his shirts and wear on one of the podcasts. So tonight I am wearing it. So shout out to you, Charlie. Um,
Congratulations, Charlie, and congratulations to Kenny Wallace again. By the way, he is going to be a grandfather, I think, for the fifth time. His daughter Brittany
mhm.
and her husband, they're going to have their first baby boy. So congrats to Herman and Kim and that whole family, and congrats to Charlie on his stuff. So
How can you not like Kenny Wallace? I mean, Kenny
oh,
Wallace is probably
if you
he's one
gotta
of the
love
funniest
Kenny,
guys in the racing sport in
he's
the racing
nuts, and
world.
we love
Yeah.
him.
Oh yeah. That this car right here behind me is signed by him, so that's a little fun
Yeah.
fact for you. Um, but yeah, for sure. So getting ready for the 2023 season, might as well get it right out of the air. What is the news that's you have coming out of this podcast here tonight?
Well, there will be an official announcement after Daytona, but we have moved organizations. We have some ties that we're working on for Chevrolet, and we needed to be with a Chevy-based team. So we have officially moved over to Young's Motorsports for the 2023 season. I will be in the 20 truck. That will be their all-star truck for the year. I don't know any other details of who else will be in it, but I know I will be one of the guys in it. Now, mind you, this is pending funding. We're still finalizing our budget, figuring out what we can do, but I will be working with Youngs to race an undetermined number of races at this point. We don't know which ones yet. They're still putting it together. And then I'm going to be doing some spotting and some driver coaching and probably helping guys on the road courses because that's kind of been my bread and butter for the last 5 years. So trying to bring that expertise to the table and help the team grow. I'm hoping it's a 1 year deal for right now. I'm hoping we can turn it into a multi-year deal and get a renewal. And from there, we're going to see what happens. And we have also put an agreement together where I will be working in conjunction with MPI, with Max Pappas's
Hence the
organization.
hat.
Yep, exactly. So everybody, I need you right now to go to Max's site. If you're looking for a steering wheel, any kind of gloves, go talk to those guys. Bobby and Dalton will do a great job and hook you up, and Max will walk you right through it. He is so gracious. He will explain to you why he came up with this product and why it's safer than other steering wheels. So definitely give those guys a call. I know Dalton's out at the Chili Bowl right now, so I'm sure
Mhm.
he is hopefully selling a lot of product. So, but we've got great plans for this year. We're still
Sounds it.
finalizing. Yep.
Definitely sounds it.
Yeah, I mean we're working on stuff, and then I'm actually headed to Georgia this weekend to Roebling Road. I'm going to be doing some instructing with NASA and helping shake down a couple cars with some friends, and I'm also involved with a group called Motorsports Mafia that does my apparel. And we are starting a program because the owner of that is putting together track days. So we're in so many different projects, along with just doing the driving and the management company. Plus, I still work a full-time job during the week, so it is a full court press all the time.
And so, making your first start in the truck series, what's that mean for you? Getting to do that.
It would be the culmination of 15 years of blood, sweat, tears, and a, I want to come up with the right word to say this, a lot of uncertainty and lack of support for a long period of time. Yes, I don't have mom and dad's money to do this, and I don't want to do it that way, but it's been a fight with my parents. They're supportive when they want to be. I'll put it politely that way. They're supportive when they want to be and when it's convenient for them. And it's hard sometimes. We'll put it that way. It's we're hoping to I'm hoping to show them that I can work a full-time job, chase my NASCAR dream, continue to be somebody to reckon with in this sport, but have a good reputation because obviously it's in NASCAR that can go down in the tubes real quick. But I want to do it correctly, but I want to prove a point, but I also want to continue to get the cup, and I want to race in the Rolex 24 in a GT or a prototype at some point. That's a bucket list for me. But I also want to take my grandmother, my Grammy, Peggy Lewis, and my papa, Eddie Lewis. They're unfortunately no longer with us. But I want to take them on a ride in a NASCAR series in trucks, Xfinity and Cup and ARCA, and guide them because they were going to be there as much as they could. But unfortunately, both of them lost their battles to cancer. So,
I'm sorry to hear that. But so we look at Young's Motorsports, and obviously some of the accomplishments they've had. They've had a couple victories in the Truck Series. Spencer Boyd, Kate Fogelman picked up a win. Tyler Young, of course, the runner of the program. Getting to work with those guys, moving into with them. How cool is it? And how fun? I know because you said you guys are just starting to get to work together, but get so far working with them. How's it been?
it's been so much more laid back than the situation we were in before. There was just a lot of uncertainty. Tyler's team has a lot of stability, and there have been many drivers that have come out of Young's that have gone on to successful careers. There's guys that are with Young's that have had successful careers in their current position. Tyler has built an awesome organization. He and his dad worked hard. I know Tyler is boots on the ground every day. They've got good crew chiefs, good engineers, they've got good people, good equipment. They're investing. That shop in Mooresville has grown by leaps and bounds. But there's also a lot of big name drivers that have come to Young's to make
Hmm.
truck starts to get seat time when they're Xfinity or Cup racing. So their reputation speaks for itself. I'm just grateful enough to be part of it. I hope I can have some contributions this year, and I'm hoping we can make this a long-term relationship.
And for example, I come from a dirt racing background. For some of you that don't know, last year's Chili Bowl winner, he's currently racing in the Chili Bowl. Tanner Thorson has raced with Young's Motorsports, so that's
Mhm.
something pretty cool on the dirt racing side. Austin Dillon's made some starts with this team as well. So Spencer, of course, Spencer Boyd, Tate Fogelman, and Spencer Boyd both have wins with that
Yep,
that with the
both at
team, both
Talladega
at
too.
Talladega. But
Yep.
anyway, a win's a win, and I'm sure
No, but I mean that in the
Talladega's.
fact that
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're both younger drivers compared to some other guys.
Hmm.
And the fact that they had the wherewithal to be successful on the super speedway, one, it proves Tyler's success because they've run up front many times, but it shows the maturity and just the dedication of those drivers to develop a restrictor plate knack for stock cars, and they put it into fruition by putting the trucks in victory lane. So I mean that no disrespectfully, not saying, oh, it's a plate track, anybody can win, but they took advantage of an opportunity for a smaller team.
And if I recall back when Tate Fogelman won, it was quite a thriller coming to the checker.
Oh, it was.
I mean, it was him and I don't even remember. I think it was John Hunter, possibly, and they were door banging, and I remember I think John Hunter ended up spinning out off of that. But
That
anyway,
truck is in there. If you walk into their atrium there
that truck took a
in the
beating.
shop, oh, it's beat to crap. I can tell you that. We saw it the other day when we were in there for the initial meeting. It like I said, that's how new this development is for us, and this transition is for us. It was that truck is
There it is.
yeah, there you go. That is exactly what it looks like. The tires have lost a little more air from just sitting there, but that's how she's sitting there with a lot of celebration on it. And the trophy and the pole award from Sheldon Creed at Coda is on there, and it is displayed for everybody to see that we put a whooping on you boys.
For sure. Um, And so Tyler Young, he had some racing experience as well. He raced in the truck series a little bit. Getting to work with another racer, I'm sure that's pretty cool as well. Getting to have the racer aspect and the business aspect together, almost I would say.
It's gonna be a great year. I honestly feel like it. I feel so much calmer than I'd have in previous months because we really didn't know where we were going with the previous program. No disrespect to them. They went in a different direction. That's fine. Totally respect that. That's motorsports. That's a business. We had some relationships that we knew we needed to stay with the bow tie side of things, and it's only helped that relationship. So we're hoping we can finalize and hammer down this year and make it worthwhile. But I think it's going to be great. Tyler's experience, he understands the business, and he understands what it takes behind the wheel, and he's willing to invest in it if the situation is right. So I feel this is a good situation. I feel this could finally be the biggest break as far as truck racing and moving on later down the line, and hopefully moving up to Xfinity and Cup that I've ever had. But I know I'm learning from the right people. Just like when I drove with Andy and Arca, who I wish fast track the best, most success this weekend at Daytona. That's who Chris will be testing with at Daytona's Andy's operation. Andy taught me a lot. He was patient with me. He gave me my first opportunity when others wouldn't. I have the utmost respect for Andy, John, Mike, everybody over there at Fast Track. They're still family in me, to my mind, and I just hope that this is the same type of family. And I have a feeling it will be, but I'm very excited to see what we can do.
For sure. A couple fun questions I like to ask on every podcast, so I'll hit you with them here. If you could race against any driver, past or present, who would it be? What track are you racing, and what car are we racing?
All right, if I could race against on the I'll give you a couple scenarios. I'll give you IndyCar. I would love to go toe to toe with Buddy Rice. I looked up to Buddy when he was driving for Ray Hall. When Kenny Brack had that horrific injury at Texas in 03, Buddy got the ride in 04 to sub and won Indy and went on to some solid success in the IndyCar ranks, and then won the Rolex with Brumos in 09. I mean, Buddy just he was, for all intents and purposes, he was a badass. I mean, he was a cool dude. You strive to beat him. Um, would love to meet him at some point. Yep, there it is. 04, man. That was
Mhm.
won the pole that year unexpectedly at 222, and then won the race, had to come from the back and beat Kanan. And I remember that. I watched it recently. I was at the gym on a treadmill, and I love watching that race. But on the NASCAR side, I'd love to race against Jeff Gordon, big Gordon and Brian Vickers fans. I know I'm probably going to get reduced followers now because I grew up watching and being a fan of Jeff Gordton. If there's anybody's a
Eh,
Earnhardt fan,
just,
but
no.
that rivalry, you always see that.
Oh yeah.
But I was a big fan of Gordon since '99. I remember him contending for wins in Busch when he and Evernham had their team.
Mhm.
He and Evernham were unbeatable in the '90s, and then the success he had with the Ford Championship, and as he moved up in his career and had success. And I'd love to meet Jeff and really just talk to him and pick his brain and really get his
Mm.
opinion of my driving. And then with Vickers, I remember being at Brian's first Richmond race, no, second Richmond race in Busch. Got his first top 10 that night in the May race. He was finished seventh for his dad's team in that 40 Dodge, that EMP car. And then he got the gig to drive for Ricky Hendrick the next year. And that's when I really became a fan of Brian. And if I could do one throwback scheme, I would love to run Brian's GMAC Ditech from '04. That paint scheme. I would love to have that as a throwback scheme at some point, whether it's on a truck or a car, and just pay homage to Brian because he was very underrated. I think he would have had better success without different circumstances. And I got to meet him a couple times. Great individual.
I know this. Okay.
Can't wait to, and I want to at least get to that same level.
That's it, right?
Yeah, but the way I would like to do it, if you go down farther, it was down at the bottom. Dare I go up just a little bit right there where the 1199
Yeah, they're trying to get me to buy it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
can
56.
I can testify to the diecast stuff, and I will shortly. But that paint job with that just blue and black, and then if I did it, I want to do that neon green with the rookie stripes and all that stuff. I mean, I love that paint job, and I've got diecast after diecast of that car at home.
For sure. If there was a racing Mount Rushmore, who are the four names?
Petty, Gordon, Vickers, and honestly, I would say Matty D.
Vendetta?
Matty D. And the reason I say that is because a lot of
Interesting.
people know Matt's success of getting to Cup and doing that. But what a lot of people probably don't remember is Matt rebuilt his career.
Mhm.
Matt was starting and parking for Curtis Key and other guys and proved he could get the job done. And let me add a fifth, Landon Castle. I think the world of
Okay, Landon
Landon.
Castle was the reason I got this podcast started. He
Yep.
gave me a chance. Great
I
guy.
I I think Landon is cool. I started following him when he was in that 5 car for junior. And I think if we can add a fifth head to that, I would think Landon. I love those guys, just their tenacity. And I want to be like that because those guys didn't come from big money. They've had to fight. Landon's the same way. When that junior Chevy deal fell apart after when the economy crashed in '09, Landon had to rebuild himself just like Matt. And they've both done a phenomenal job. And I mean, the success they've had. I mean, it was cool to see Matty D get his first win. I am praying Landon finally breaks through. Yep, that is awesome.
That's
And
kind of hard to
knowing
see.
Landon, he was probably running late to an appearance or wherever he
Nope.
needed to be at that point.
He actually was not. He
He was
actually
on time. Oh my, that
it
is,
was
oh
that
my
day. It
God, he
was
was
during
on time.
Daytona. We were actually in rain delay. It was at Daytona.
Okay, that explains
So
why he wasn't late. It was a rain
we were
delay.
all on a
He
hold
was
period.
early.
I was in the Xfinity garage, and we were all on a hold period because he was the one that really gave me a chance. Because I asked him to be the first guest on my podcast, and I said I want to start a podcast. You think you would do an interview with me? And he said
That's
sure.
Landon. He's
And
always for giving people chances.
so 2 years later, I've done announcing. I've met a lot of people and all that. This was last year when this happened. I won a giveaway. I won the Live Fast Motorsports is two hot pass giveaway. Me and my dad won two hot passes for BJ McLeod
That's
for that
awesome.
race. It was an August race, and so we ended up in the Xfinity garage the night before the Cup race, and we ended up on the pit box during the Cup race. Very cool experience for sure.
Nice.
But I'm in the pits, and Landon's there talking to somebody, and so I didn't want to be rude, so I'm not going to go over there and just interrupt this conversation. But he actually stopped his conversation to come over and talk to me, and I ended up taking that picture with him, and
That's
definitely
Landon. I mean,
awesome guy.
he loves the
So
fans.
so we'll look back at it. We got Richard Petty, we got Jeff Gordon, We have Brian Vickers, Matt DiBenedetto, and Landon
and Landon
Castle.
Castle.
Wow, that's definitely I guess I don't know how I could say it. I guess the most exact I've gotten. I've 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 had a lot. Everybody says there's always everybody I interview is Pearson, Allison, Earnhardt, Gordon, Johnson, all the names that have won championships. But I've never had anybody say drivers like that that have really had to earn everything they've done in
Petty
it.
helped pave NASCAR back because he was there.
Hmm.
He and his dad Lee were there from the start. Jeff took over the reign when Richard retired, when they ran that race together in Atlanta in 92 in November. When Richard retired, Richard passed the torch. And then Jeff continued it on and took NASCAR, continued to take it Main Street. And then the way I look at it is Vickers had opportunities and was a solid driver, but he was a good guy. Matty D and Landon and Brian too, they all had to overcome a lot of adversity in their careers. And that's a lot of what I've had to deal with just to get in the door with Youngs and some of these other opportunities. So I look at it as I'm paying homage to two great champions that helped make NASCAR what it was, to give me an opportunity to put it in front of me. But at the same time, three guys who got there, have had to rebuild after adversity, and I strive to be the character and driver that
Oh, for
and
sure.
are.
But yeah, for sure. And I can't stress it enough. How thankful I was for Landon to do that. I was able to get my career started and get to interview drivers every night, like yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely been a pretty fun ride. With that said, because I don't want to keep you here all night, because I know you said 8:15. You got an iRacing
We
server
got
coming.
we got time. It's hey, if they get in there and
We got
start farting around without me, I got a couple
we
minutes.
got
Trust
we,
me.
we got an iRacing server coming up, and I'm probably gonna hop in with you because you said
We'd
I
love to
could.
have you. I
I
will
said
send
I
you.
probably will jump in for a little bit. But is there anything you do want to know about the podcast or anything about me in general? That
Um, Pretty much, you showed me how you got started. Pretty much what I'd like to know is what is your ultimate goal? Do you want to take this to where, I mean, obviously you want to be successful with it, but do you want to take this to where you're nationally syndicated? Are you looking to use this to bounce into doing media work, television work? Like where do you see Brady Hauser in 5 years?
honestly, I don't know. I want to. I definitely. I don't know where I'm gonna be. I've made so many connections and stuff through the announcing and being broadcasting and interviewing people like Josh Sims for Fox, and I've met so many people on the broadcast side that have helped me out. Dave Moody, he's been a pretty big supporter, helped me out the past couple weeks, months, I should say, and he's been a big help and kind of mentoring me. And I would really like to go to NASCAR, but here's the way one of my buddies taught me.
Hmm?
The late Rick Eshelman, who's no longer with us. We lost him back in October. Great guy.
Sorry to hear that.
I miss him every day. The way he put it is everybody wants that job. Everybody's gonna wants to be Mike Joy. In every state, there's 50 states. There's gonna be 300 announcers. This throw a random number that want to be the next Mike Joy. So it's definitely it's a tough road to get there. But I'm hopeful. I'm gonna go to college, get my degree in journalism and stuff, so I can kind of work into the ranks. Gonna apply for some places when I turn 18, and
Check
I
with
would
local
I would
check with
like
local
yeah.
racetracks and see if even
I'm announcing at a local racetrack. A
okay,
couple
cool. I was
racetracks
gonna
right now.
say do that.
Yeah,
Another person you should reach out to with Steering Wheel Nation, talk to Tom Baker. He has quite a few different podcasts and shows that he does. He does a lot of different announcing at a lot of different places. Tell him I sent you over. Tell him you know us. I mean, we were just on his two shows Monday night down in Statesville. Reach out to him, let him know what you're trying to do. He may know of somebody, or he might be able
there you go.
to.
There's me doing my thing right there.
Nice. Look at that. That is awesome.
So I love announcing.
Well, reach out to him because he does the go-kart nationals at Daytona. He might know of some guys that are looking for some other opportunities. And if I were you, listen to old IndyCar races where Paul Page was doing the play-by-play. He
Hmm.
was phenomenal on the IndyCar side, but he also did some NASCAR.
I've listened to one of my good buddies. I've had him on the podcast, and you mentioned the IndyCar. Alan Bestwick.
Oh, Alan's phenomenal too.
Me and
I
Alec are
miss him on the
friends.
in
Yeah,
NASCAR.
he is he's a good dude for sure. I've listened to all of his
The
work. He's
worst
one.
thing NBC and TNT ever did was pull him out of that booth and put Bill Weber up there. Weber was a good pit road guy, but the chemistry between BP, Wally, and Alan was second to none. Alan, you could close your eyes and he could call a race, and you could picture yourself sitting in the stands.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, and it's so I don't know where I'm gonna be in 5 years from now. Hopefully, it's something to do with. It's definitely gonna be something to do with racing. Racing's my passion, so if it means I go with dirt vision or something like that, we'll see what happens.
No, I mean anything. Do not
Anything I get, I'm going
don't
for it.
pass up any opportunity, whether it's dirt, IndyCar, drag,
Mhm.
motocross, anything like that, NASCAR. That's the thing. There's so many people, and I was this way when I was really young. I had tunnel vision and stuff, and I didn't realize there were so many other opportunities out there that can get you where you want to go. Use them as avenues and get experience. And that's kind of what I've done by doing the road racing and other things, and the management side, and just the spotting. I mean, you've got to the biggest thing in this world is there's so many limited spots. If you can be a jack of all trades, master of none, you go so much farther.
For sure, for sure. Kyle, I am going to actually end the Facebook live feed here. Everybody that's tuning in, I appreciate you coming on the show. We're gonna continue recording for YouTube. I'm gonna be getting rid of the live, so everybody that knows there will not be the live will not be available. You'll have to go to my YouTube now after and watch the rest to watch this podcast over. Um,
Absolutely.
but so I'm gonna end the Facebook live. Thanks everybody for watching. And on that side, this is Kyle Lockrow,
Thank you
Arkham
guys. Have a
Menards
good night.
driver, NASCAR driver, the guy I'm about to beat in iRacing, I guess.
Absolutely. You probably will. I'm going to get spanked on iRacing, but Arkham Menards and NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series now this year.
Yep, new
And I'm
Truck
about
Series
to get
driver.
waxed by Brady Hauser on iRacing. So we'll stream it
I'm
tonight.
not very
We'll
good,
stream it
so
on, you know what? I'm going to stream it on my Twitch, and everybody can watch me get waxed.
all right. So I'm gonna end the Facebook live here. Uh, Live is now done, but on my YouTube side, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't click on that notification bell. You won't miss an upload every time we post a video. It's definitely a big help if you click the notification bell. It will notify you every time I post. And with Volusia coming up in just a few weeks, there's going to be a lot of uploads coming up from there and a lot of interviews I'm going to be doing at the track at Volusia. So stay tuned for that. Again, I was talking about it last night with I'll have you send me that on my messenger. I see you
Oh,
sent me a
okay.
message.
No problem.
With everybody
Cool.
getting ready to go for the speed weeks here, I got Carson Macedo possibly lined up for a live podcast earlier on in the day, one of these days at Volusia, and it'll be in front of his race car, a couple lawn chairs, just a couple dudes talking, racing. So we'll see if we can get that to work, and I would definitely like to do it with Carson. I would love to do it with Carson. So we'll see what
There you
goes
go.
there. But just stay tuned for that. We got a bunch of videos coming up from that. But again, Kyle, I thank you for coming on the show. Two things I'm going to let you give a shout out to anybody you want and plug your social medias here.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, so much. I want to take 1 second, thank all my supporters, family, friends, fans, everybody that has stuck behind us for 15 years with this Young's opportunity. I think this is going to be the break we need. I think we are in for a great 2023 and beyond. I want to thank Southern Sun Graphics, Motorsports Mafia. I want to thank everybody at MPI for taking a chance on me. I want to thank my new team at Young's Motorsports for believing in me and giving me a shot. We'll see what this year comes. I want to thank everybody at hold on 1 second here. Let me pull up my list because I'm still getting used to this here. So all right. Yeah, we got MPI. I want to thank TMI Racing Products, The Joy of Seating, Bright Sky Creative, NW Audio, Devon's Deals, Big Red Custom Diecast, NNSCRA Paint Designs, Moore's Automotive, J Sawyer Voice Master Limited, Countertops by Design, Team Ant-Man. It's a charity we work with, and everybody with the Kyle Locker Racing experience with Play Live Nation of Strongsville, Ohio. And our exclusive partners we work with, Home Services Restoration, turning your disasters into happily ever after, Garage Heroes in Training, Bill, Vicky, Jen, and Alan, miss you guys, Mid Atlantic Source One for all your IT communication and needs for installations, and NLA Parts, NLA Parts LLC, Samuel Getachew and his wife Amy. Thank you guys so much.
For sure. And what's your social medias?
First thing I want everybody to do is go to www.kylelocrow.com.
I
And
did
if you
that.
go there, Perfect. I appreciate that. If you could pull that up, that'd be phenomenal. If
I'm
you could,
gonna.
because that's actually what I had to do to recite all that because I'm still learning, and I'll flat out admit that.
We're gonna
So
have cue cards.
exactly, we're gonna have cue cards, and she's gonna be like,
You're gonna be
and
on like
just
a.
and
You're gonna be on a Fox interview, getting interviewed by Fox, and you're gonna be
yeah,
looking
pretty
down your
much.
card.
You're
looking down
exactly
your
right.
card.
Or Tanya will be standing off there going, "What? Wait, spell it." Okay, all right, use it in a sentence. There we go. So no, but just all those guys that do that. I want to thank all my friends and the officials and everybody with the Champ Car Endurance Series. Thank you guys so much for everything that you're doing. You guys have helped make me and get me where I'm at just by giving me an outlet. Oh, Stray Dog Racing. We're going to be working with them here soon. I want everybody to go try to support and save their racing season. Barberton Speedway's up for a legal grab right now. So please help them save their race season. Get the word out. If you know somebody that can help in that fight, and then we're going to be doing an event in a few weeks out there in Akron. John, who will be in the server tonight with us, Brady, he's the father of a racer who runs Barberton. So we can give you a little more detail on
Actually,
that. So
Lily's gonna be
yep, Lily will actually be in there and she'll wax all of us. So she's 13. So so good bandolero driver, but that's Motorsports Mafia. All the apparel you guys can check out. Please, please, please go buy something. There's more being developed once we get the new numbers and all the stuff. There's going to be more. Check it out. If any racers or anybody out there is interested, you can purchase a package through Mike and Debbie Gallagher's business, and we can get you set up with your own store. We have diecast through Justin Balliot and the Big Red Custom guys. We did the first start. It's a rare one. We're only going to have it up for a limited amount of time, so jump on that. And like I said, any racers, no matter what your discipline is, go on there, apply with Mike. There's different packages, very affordable. The money you make profit wise can be put back into your racing. Motorsports Mafia was started for guys who don't have an outlet with big fanatics and all these different ones that do for big, all the big pros. This is a way to get your stuff started. You can customize it however you want it, bring in your own artist, use the in-house artist. It's a great way for guys to get apparel, have it for fans in the stands, but also make money and put it back into your program. All the social media channels are on there as well. You can see it. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff this year, and follow along. You will not be disappointed. And also, too, anybody who is looking to get on a car or a truck, call 269-719-5706. I screwed that number up on the other night on the podcast, and they were laughing hysterically because my train derailed hard. But give us a call. Small mom and pop, mid-size, multi-million-dollar enterprises, please, please, please take a chance on us. If you're in a situation you don't like and you need a change, come with the right situation and we'll give you your investment tenfold.
For sure. Well, this has been another episode of the Out of the Fast Lane podcast. Of course, I am Brady Hauser. This is Kyle Lockrow once again. But I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I'm not too sure who next week's guest is going to be. It'll be determined. You'll find out soon for sure. But yeah, so this has been
If you're
another
looking
episode.
for a guest, we may have a couple people for Out of the Fast Lane. We have some good people.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind for sure. I'll definitely keep that in mind for sure. But with that said, I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. This has been kind of a double header week. Usually we don't do 2 nights in a row of podcasts, but this week I was able to make it work in my schedule. Last night with Tommy.
Look
and
at you, Bob
tonight with
Barker,
Kyle.
filming 5 shows in one day so you can go hit the golf course.
So tonight, it's kind of our double header. So again, I appreciate everybody coming on, watching this episode. Make sure you click the like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'm gonna close it off as my friend Charlie Medford would say, "You cannot park there." That's his infamous saying on the back of this sweatshirt. But I'm in my pajamas, so I'm not gonna stand up.
That's perfect, man. That's fine.
When you're podcasting from the waist up,
it does help, man. You can
you
can just wear like lounge pants, hang out, man. You're good. But no, thank you to
a golf shirt
everybody.
on, for sure.
Thank you to Out of the Fast Lane Nation. Thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of this. It's been a blast, Brady. Looking forward to it. Hopefully I can be on again, and we will see you in the iRacing room, and I'm going to get wrecked.
You're not going to get wrecked, but I guarantee it's not going to be good. But anyway.
No, it's either going to be you
everybody,
or Lily. One of them's going to take me out.
Everybody have a great rest of the night.
Bye, guys.
This has been another Out of the Fast Lane episode.